Hello and good morning. I wanted to take a moment here to send an address and a message to a number of individuals in the OECS judiciary. I'm sure many of you are familiar with me by now, and you know that I'm a no nonsense person. No nonsense. I don't take prisoners. And what we have here between us is a scorched earth battle. I want to direct my message specifically this evening and this morning to Mrs. Michelle Theobalds, Madam uh, Maturin, whatever her name is. I think she's one of them, Maturin. You have Theobalds, you have Will Scott Maturin, you have Theresa-Etienne, Marie Theresa-Etienne, you have Vinci August, and of course, we already know about our friend Mr. Leroy Peters. And today I'm going to be very calm. I'm not going to raise my voice because your skins are too thin. But I want to tell you all this. For the last 12 years, I've been struggling with an incompetent and a functionally illiterate named Oswald Walsh on the island of Dominica, where we had a failure to communicate. I believe I have sent you the movie called Cool Hand Luke, and you know what happens when you have a failure to communicate. Fortunately, I've always opted for communications, for written communications, for verbal communications, and for video communications. But it come to me to realize that you all do not appreciate the fact that I will speak to you, I'll write to you, I'll email you. And so a good number of you have put blocks on my email, particularly my Land Financial email or my Francois Macandal email, and you act like a little child, okay? So you're acting like a child, you behaving like a millennial who say, I'm going to block you from my phone as if you're going to hurt me because you blocked me from your phone. If I call you anyway, you're going to ask me for a favor, you're going to ask me for money. I don't need to be calling you. You're not hurting me by blocking me. You're not hurting me by blocking my emails. You're missing out on the education you didn't receive. Because I have to ask myself, what type of education you people who hold these prominent positions in society, just exactly what is your training, what is your ethics, and what is your code of conduct? What purpose do you serve? If I write to Michelle Theobalds and I ask her to send a letter to the Chief Justice, Michelle is the representative of the court and of the Chief Justice, and the civil procedure rules say that you can file by email or fax. Michelle and Etienne have the authority to grant that permission and to make those arrangements. But for whatever reason you're prejudiced towards me, I have never tried to rape you. I've never tried to rape your children. I've never did anything to your mother or to your father. But for some reason, ever since this thing began, I never did anything. I was not the one who took these people to court. They took me to court. And for 12 years, the matters have languished. And when I came to agitate to get them current and to bring it to what's this you say? Not an apex. I forgot the proper word, but to bring it to an end. Let's just use simple words that ordinary people can understand. You all like to use big words and big Latin words so people can say, oh, you educated, you went to law school. and you have your law degree. Okay? And you told me to get counsel, and I got Kara and I got Joshua, and they misrepresented me. And Mikey and the other side had Selma Dupini, and Selma Dupini is a vampire. Somebody have to picture her. That's the only way you get rid of a vampire. They have to be pictured. And for how many generations she and her family have tormented, berated, and undermined the citizens of Dominica. But I told someone who worked for her before that I, Peter Emmanuel, am going to picture that witch. Mokai my way. So I want to tell you something, Michelle. They probably have you on a pedestal in St. Lucia. You've been in that job for over 12 years now. I think if I were you, I would look for another opportunity. And that's the problem on those islands. There are no jobs. There are no jobs. There are no industrial opportunities. So the only opportunities you have is to con people on land matters, steal money from people. Your consciences cannot be clean, not like mine. And then when you get a favor from a government, like you have a white man as your prime minister in St. Lucia, which shows the degree to which you all are neo-colonialized and are still part of the slave mentality. That's why Chenet is your prime minister. And his family own most of the land on St. Lucia. So you Negroes are still slaves. So you run around as the chief registrar of the OECS. And I write to you to complain to you about your direct reports on the island of Dominica. First it was Walsh, and you did nothing. 11 years you did nothing except for one sentence letter you sent to Walsh and you said, take care of this. And Walsh sent me an email, a convoluted email that is as convoluted as how he speaks. That email was just a run-on sentence with no space, no commas, and no indentation, and no periods. When I had the matter before the appeals court, and we gave Walsh the exact instructions of what came out of the agreement, Walsh didn't know how to publish a proper document. Walsh sent me an editable Word document. I had to lambaste Walsh to get him to put the right wording in there and to publish it as a PDF document. So what's your purpose? What's your purpose, Miss Etienne? If when I come to you and I ask you to clarify about the filing process, okay, and there has to be a level of trust in business and in practice. So if I file a document with you and you stamp it file, I have to have the ethics to say that what I gave you is exactly what I'm going to give to the defendant or to the plaintiff. So this idea that you have to hold it, to check it, to make sure it's the same thing, is a kind of a childish way of looking at things and of doing things. So what is your purpose? Then I ask you about being able to file by email and file by fax, and it's in the CPR. It didn't say it's for bourgeois. It didn't say it's only for attorneys. It says if you are going to file a matter, these are the rules. So the rules apply to me. But you ignore me. Then when I sent you that one email to give the letter to the Honorable Lady, Justice Graham, that's the only time you ever acknowledged me and you ever responded, because I had brought pressure to bear upon you over what Mr. Peters had done. And believe me, if you were in my shoes, and you had struggled for 12 years, and then you had struggled for 8 years, and in both cases, the plaintiffs who came after me, their attorneys whom they paid once you walk into a lawyer's office in Dominica with a land matter, the minimum is $10,000. Even if they tell you it's 5, it's going to go up to 10, and it's going to go over 10. And imagine Fenty LaRoque. I think he's close to 90 years old now. He can't travel. His mind is fading away just like mine. His diabetes is out of control just like mine. His blood pressure is out of control just like mine. So what make you think, what value? And it's not his land. It's not his land. He's never occupied it. He has no fucking probate. His father never occupied it. His father never had title to it. His father made no reference in his fucking will to it. But Selma Dupini want to come before the fucking court because she thinks that I was a coward. But for 12 years. So what are you waiting for? You waiting for me to die? You want me to die. That's what it is. But I'm not going to die. I'm too strong. I'm too strong. And you see what it is. I represent the army of Francois Macandal. And our slogan is resistance, struggle, fight, 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 fight. And then we get to victory. On the day that I was supposed to have a victory, Leroy Peters manipulated the situation to make it appear to my justice and my dear lady that somehow I wasn't interested in my case and I abandoned it and I didn't show up. So I say a few words in a video. I say a few words in an email. And do you know that is the weakest thing you can do in life when somebody do you wrong? Is to just talk about it. Is to just say things about it. Is to make a video about it because you try for your will to hold you back. You don't want to go to the state of jihad. You don't want to go to the level of DEFCON 1. Ye said he was going DEFCON 3 and look what happened to him. Imagine if I call you and tell you I'm coming DEFCON 1 on your ass. But you see, I don't believe in violence because my words are enough. My words cut sharper and deeper than water. And I know they do. And I know they do. And I know that it puts fear in your souls and in your minds and in your hearts. And you walk along, buoy, with a stone face all the time. And if you see anything that says Peter Lander on it, your heart begins to beat out of control. And that's how I'm going to bring this curse upon you and make you ill for the evil that you are doing to me. What purpose do you serve? Is a reason why Skerritt put you as acting registrar, because he has no plans to make you the full-time registrar. Michelle, you've held the job for 12 years. Move on. Give another person an opportunity, because I don't see what you're doing. If you're going to send me an email and tell me my documents are not in St. Lucia, you must think I'm an idiot. You must think I'm a functional illiterate. Don't you think I know where they are? Don't you think I only come to you to tell your subjects to do their job? You cannot even do that as a supervisor. And then I sent you the letter to give to the Chief Justice, which you really didn't have to do. You can act on behalf of the Chief Justice because you are the head registrar of the OECS Courts. So under CPR 3.7 and 3.8, you could make that decision. But why haven't you made it? And then you told me you didn't see my email, which I sent to you on the 9th of September. But when I sent you the email that told you, had my subject line said, it was a bottle fete, it was a party, it was an all-night party, an all-white party, and even possibly it could have been an orgy. You saw it, didn't you? You saw it. I knew you would see that one. And it did everything I intended it to do. Because you tried ignoring it, but your colleagues came and told you, who is that landerman that sent you such an email? Because you hypocrites down there, you all are all hypocrites. You act like you don't have sex. You act like you don't sodomize. You act like you don't have lesbianism and zami. But you all are zamiites, lesbians, and sodomites. And pretending that you love Jesus and you love Christ and you have Judeo-Christian values. In this conversation, I am the only man who is a true Judeo-Christian traditionalist. I raised a family. I took care of my wife. I took care of my children. And the first sacrifice we had in 2013 was the killing of my wife, Mimi. And even after that, George Bernie Stevenson had no fucking sympathy for me. She forced me to travel to Dominica. And even when I got there, she canceled the hearing on my ass. You think that lady's going to see well? She already don't look well. You can look at her pictures and see she does not look well. Then before she leave, at least I give her credit, she put these 3 cases on the docket. Her last action before she leave. And she looked sarcastically at me and said, oh, we see your emails. Oh, we see your emails. Bernie, yes, you see my emails. When I called St. Lucia, oh, Mr. Lander, we've seen your emails. You are hypocrites. Jesus don't know you. God don't love you. Jesus don't know you and Jesus don't care for you. You're not a Jew. You're not the chosen people of God. And you will never see the gates of heaven. Well, you might as well. Because I'm not coming to heaven. If you're going to be there, I don't want to be there. So Bernie, 2013, we sacrificed Mimi. The end of 2013, Carlton left. The following January, my nephew was murdered. A little bit further down the line, Mr. Raphael LeQuent was killed. I believe I'm told that Fenty LaRock did some kind of opiate that made the man fall in his garden and hit a stone. And of the poor healthcare in Dominica, he had internal bleeding and he was misdiagnosed. These are all the soldiers that we have given up for the struggle. Do you think we're the only ones that's going to give up people and we're not going to take from the other side? And when we take from the other side, we have to take people of quality, high quality, to make up for our numbers, because we have given way more in numbers than what you have given up. So there was a Haitian man. I rent him the house in Massac. He would never pay me. He left owing me tens of thousands of dollars. He was smuggling Haitians to the neighboring French islands, and I believe Blackmore was involved in it. And they would have so many Haitians in the house. When I go there, he tell me these are all his cousins and his relatives. I'm like, how many fucking cousins and relatives do you have? And I think some of the boats sank and some of the people died. And their souls came to get him. Their souls came to get him. So I was recently informed that a few months ago, he died from an asthma attack. And then there's Peter Joseph. Peter Joseph joined with Gloria LaRock. Peter Joseph was a close friend of Carlton. and a friend of mine, and he used to act like he was so in love with me. And Peter Joseph joined and went around. He never seen Carlton. He don't know about the $2 million of medical bills that Carlton ran up in the United States. He don't know. He wasn't there to wash Carlton's ass or to give him a wash down in the shower. It was my mother and I and some of my friends. They know more about Carlton than you know about Carlton and his care right here in the United States of America. So I want to tell you that when someone has an issue, and that's why today there's so much turmoil in the world, you know. China wants to attack Taiwan and Russia's attacked Ukraine because you keep telling people, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Because if you do it, you're infringing upon my rights. You're fucking with my territorial integrity. You're fucking with my financial interests. And you say it to them softly, politely, and nicely, and they just don't fucking give you no mind. And then one day you get triggered. You get triggered. You see, first of all, you say, I send you threats. I don't make threats. I make promises. And if I promise you, and first, if I'm going to do something, you will never know, because I will never tell you. I will never say to you, I'm going to do this or do that. I won't. It will just happen. But I am telling you that in life and in world, people can be triggered. And you have to be mindful of how you handle people. And when you're in positions of authority, and when you make decisions, you must make sure you do those decisions without prejudice, and you don't screw people around. So when that man screwed me around on the 11th, so remember that. Peter Joseph with Gloria, Commodores with Gloria. Gloria herself isn't well. She's somewhere in Washington State. I know where she is. I can find her. I can do a skip trace on her. It will only cost me $75. And I can go and visit that bitch wherever she is. And I can get some drug addicts. They got a lot of drug addicts in Washington State. And I can teach her a fucking lesson that she'll never forget if she don't stop fucking with me. Okay? I have the capacity to wage violence. I do. And believe me, the thoughts that I just have, I have to take medication to make it go away. Because I never ever want to do the things that I think about doing. I know how to make ricin. I know how to process the zombie powder from the blowfish. My grandparents taught me that. We used to use it to poison the neighbor's pigs. I'm not threatening you. I'm just telling you, there are things that you can do in life. That's why there are wars between countries. That's why neighbors just attack one another, and you all just think it's entertainment. When you're in Dominica, you're saying, oh, go and hash that person like it's okay, and you're watching it like it's entertainment. So you go in with a machete and you're just chopping somebody up. What if, just what if, I had lost my cool? What if I were on the island on the 11th of November, and I had lost my cool because Leroy Peters deliberately and willfully did not send me the information to join the Zoom call? What if when I am here, okay, how do they say it? When you almost had victory and you lose it. You're in the jaws, I don't know, in the jaws of the lion, or victory is almost there, and somebody just come and sabotage you to make you lose your victory after 8 fucking years of struggle. The woman paid a lawyer. I don't know if she paid him with sex. I don't know if she gave him fellatio or if he sodomized her, or if she gave him cash. But for 7, going on 8 years, he never did anything. And he went to see Jesus. And when I saw Peter Joseph, I saw him at the Jolly's pharmacy. I said, Peter, it's very expensive to fight prostate cancer. You're not going to make it. And that's what happens to traitors. That's what happens to people who have no ethics and no morals and who do not practice the responsibility of the oaths that they have taken. So I'm going to tell you this. If you cannot read an email, you're weak. If you cannot watch a video, you're weak. You must get out of the kitchen because the kitchen is too hot for you. And Michelle, you have held that position too damn long. Until you get faced with scandal, and then you have to go out in disgrace, I advise you to leave while you can. Emigrate. Go to Britain. Go to Canada. Go to the United States. Go into private practice. Come up with a scheme or a scam whereby you can steal money from other people, but get out of the business of the administration of the OECS Courts. Miss Etienne, likewise, I want to tell you to what is your purpose? If you cannot explain and you cannot put in place a mechanism, and you know I'm in the United States, for me to email my documents to you. What is your purpose? And then Desmond Charles and each and every one of your officials, including the Attorney General's office, who reject my emails, I want to tell you all what I've told you all before. I can do what you can do, but you cannot do what I can do. I am not a malicious person, but if I have to be, I will. I have the abilities and the capabilities to shut down your entire computer networks. I have the abilities and the capabilities to deny you service. You'll come into your office and you'll wonder why there's no email on your computer. You'll come into your office and you'll wonder why you cannot access this file and that file. And you know what? It will be God's electronic army. The electronic arm of the army of Francois Macandal. And it will be untraceable. You won't be able to trace it to me. And you think because of these little IP addresses, your little local IT people have no capabilities like we have. You see, I don't walk around with a business card that says what my qualifications are and how many honors that I have. Each one of you is a doctor, and each one of you, even Etienne sends an email out with her signature, and she have how many honors? What the hell are those honors doing for us or for you? Be humble and put your name as Marie Theresa-Etienne, acting registrar of the Banana Republic of Dominica. But not honors and honors. What happened to the people without honors? They are not people. They don't count in this world. Only you all with honors count. You meet a little lawyer just come from UWI, she have honors. They told me to hire Cara Shillingford because she did well in school. But she had no gam. She had no sophistication. She had no training. My case was her first case, and she talked before the judge more nervous than I would. But now I hear she's good. They tell me she's good. They tell me she giving Tony Astafans a run for her money. Like all other people on those islands, the only avenue for for fortune is politics, so she quickly joined the political opposition and agitating to try to get rid of Dr. Roosevelt Skerritt. And that's the other problem. Too many doctors. Too many doctors. Too many doctors that can't give injection, that can't prescribe medicine, and even those who can, you still, you see my shirt? Wake Forest Medical School. I dropped out of medical school, okay? I dropped out of medical school. You are not the only one who have a PhD, and many of you have PhDs in flu disciplines that cannot add value to the nation, island, state, or to the people. So let me summarize. I will give you 1 week to lift the block on my TLFG emails because it's my most convenient place from where I like to send my emails. Absent action on your side, I will teach you a lesson. For 1 week, I will ask my people to teach you a lesson so you can see what we can do. The other thing is, I will give you 48 hours to give me an answer about Rule 3.7 and 3.8 and to make arrangements for me to conduct my business remotely. I want you to know that any and everything that I have said about Leroy Peters, about any one of you, I do not apologize. Because the minute that I had stopped being militant, the minute that I had stopped with the struggle, the minute that I laid back on the struggle, the minute that I stopped fighting, you thought it was okay. And you tried to take advantage of me, but you will not do that again. I am an old man now. And as an old man, I am ready. I am fired up and ready for battle. You see, when you're young, you're scared. You don't want to go to prison. You don't want to die. But when you're getting old, you're getting closer and closer to death. And I am not going to go silent into the night. No way, Jose. I am not going silently into the night. I am going down in a blaze of glory. So don't mind that I called you all homosexuals, lesbians, buggerers, and sodomites. That is what you are. And you pretend every day to be something else. I grew up in that society. I was only there for 15 years. But I know you. The same way I study people here in the United States because I'm a fucking reader. I'm a gadezafe, gade. It was the gift that my aunt gave to me. She was a fortune teller. So let me tell you this. I know you, but you don't know me. And this matter, which has run 7 years, 8 years, and 12 years, so 12 and 8 makes it 20 years we have these matters before the court. If you were in my shoes and you were struggling for 20 years and you were on the verge of victory and somebody came and sabotaged you, do you think you would just talk? Do you think you would just write? Or you'd go up in the office with a machete and hash them? That's probably what you would do because that's the level of your ignorance. But fortunately for you, I am not that ignorant. I'm not that stupid. I know at the end of the day, the pen is still mightier than the sword. I know the pen is mightier than the sword. I know the video is as mighty as the pen. And I know that you can do way more damage with the pen and way more damage with the video than you can ever do with a machete. And that's why tonight I am calling upon you, Michelle. I'm calling upon Desma Charles. I'm calling upon Mary Theresa-Etienne. I'm calling upon Vistia August. You all need to move on. Find other work. I know Dominica don't have work and St. Lucia don't have work, but find work. Find work. Even if you have to go back to the oldest type of work in the history of humanity and in the history of women. And you know what I'm talking about. I hear you can get a beautiful medical doctor in Cuba at a very reasonable rate. But I wouldn't even take you all down to that level. But you might bring yourself down to that level if you keep fucking with me. Get me out of your business. Give me the titles to my lands. Remove those caveats because they're illegal. And tell Bernie Stevenson that I send her my love and my kisses. Tell her that. Tell her Peter Emmanuel says he loves her, and thank you for putting my cases as your most important action before you departed the island nation, Banana Republic of Dominica. As always, I want each and every one of you to know that I hold no grudges. No matter what I say, I don't wish you any ill will. I simply wish to have a debate and a conversation with you in which that you must understand the facts of the matters and that you must respect the rules. You must abide by the code of professional conduct. You must abide by the code of ethics. And you should not ever, ever in your life try to play tricks or to undermine someone like myself. I'm applying my skin treatment so I can get rid of my Bobo Max. You know, when you grow up in the islands and you think getting Bobo is okay until you come to America and you see how smooth people's skin are because they don't go around falling on rocks and hitting their toes on rocks. And, you know, I had quite a few of those experiences. So I'm putting my acid pill and I'll leave it on overnight. It's not that strong anyway, and it will gradually, over time, help me to get rid of some of these scars and generate some new, nice, beautiful, fresh skin so that I can still be sexy in my old age, old and sexy. Don't hate me because I'm old and sexy, okay? Don't hate me because I'm articulate. Don't hate me because I know how to tell you about yourself and to put you in your place and to tell you I don't care how prejudiced you are. I don't care how much of a pedestal everybody else put you on. I, Peter Emmanuel, I'm going to chop you down to size. You see, that's what happened in Rwanda. The Tutsis are tall and the Hutus are short. So when they had the genocides and the civil wars, some of the Tutsis, they used to go with machetes and chop the legs of the Tutsis off. That's how evil people are. That's how wicked people are. So if you think my speaking to you is evil and wicked, you haven't seen evil and wicked yet. You haven't seen that. Because I'm certainly not. I'm a very, very handsome, charismatic, entertaining, and interesting individual. So why would you hate me? Why would you want to wish bad on me? And why you want to sabotage me? I don't want to show you my sexy legs. You might get turned on. Because I know your husband or your other male lovers are not as sexy as I am. And always remember now, I make no apologies because guess what? If I was a Tutsi or a Hutu or a Shia or a Sunni, this matter would be handled totally differently. If I was a member of ISIS, it would be handled totally different. But I am a member of the Francois Macandal movement, and we believe in peace. And we will take, and we'll resist, and we'll resist, and then we'll fight. And when we do fight, we'll be victorious. God bless you. May the spirit of Francois Macandal Maybe the spirit of François Macandal and Toussaint Louverture and Marcus Garvey and Bookman and Jacko and all of the freedom fighters be with you, in whose footstep and in whose path that I follow, and know that I am a man of peace, a man of words, a person of the book. I come not for war, but for peace. And do the right things. Go get new jobs. Let new blood come in. And stop being prejudiced against people who have done nothing to you. I have done nothing to you but spoken to you. And if my words put fear in you, then so be it. But hey, I got a tablet here I got to show you. It's a sleeping pill because, you know, you all have me so wired up. I can't even sleep. I can't sleep. So I got to take some to sleep and I got to take some to wake up. So he gave me this drug here called, I can't pronounce it. It's it's not trazodone, but it's trazodone zin or something like that. It's only 4 milligrams, but it works very well, very effectively. I'll take it, and then within the next 10 to 15 minutes, I'll start feeling dizzy, and I'll fall asleep, and hopefully I won't dream about you all. But I want you all to know that I have nothing but love and care in my heart for you. Just don't try to mess me over, because I don't want to show you the other side. Each one of us have another side. And don't ever say I threaten you, because I don't threat. I don't threat. I don't make threat. If there is a mission to be undertaken, if there's an operation, you will never know. You'll never know. The operation will just occur. With that said, I hope you have a good day. It's Tuesday. Whatever it is you owe me, get it to me. Make me happy. You'll be happy. Your family will do well, and you'll prosper, and we'll all prosper together, because we have one saying in our movement. There's either going to be prosperity for all or prosperity for none. Let me say it again. We are either all going to prosper or none of us is going to prosper. I will see you soon. I will see you very soon. Take care. Remain strong. Remain healthy. And stay protected. And know that the spirit of the Voodoo Master and the spirit of François Macandal is with you. Take care, and may the Lord continue to protect you. May François protect you. May Fedeline protect you. May Cindy Noir protect you. May Michael Bruni protect you. May Commodore protect you. May Peter Joseph protect you. And all of the other dead people that have died in these cases. Remember, I'm the next one supposed to die. But before I die, you have to die first.